Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Thibaut Kleiner. I'm from the European Commission, and I'm the last thing before you can eat. So I try to be brief, but also to try and continue on these very nice introductions. I think we've already learned two things, at least I did. First, I know now why fish has no chance in Europe, because we have very good sonars on all the boats. And secondly, it seems that open source software are not very popular in Stanford, because you forgot to mention a couple of them, like Linux or Drupal, which actually are leading brands also in that area. But today, and it's I think a very nice scenery to have Europa just in front of me. I wanted actually to have also a message of optimism as regards the IT industry, because I think that after what you just said, I couldn't agree more that IT has really a lot of potential to change a lot of things here in Europe. And I just wanted to mention a few names that you probably know about. I mean, Spotify, MindCandy, SoundCloud, SwiftKey, Supercell, Rovio, Xing, 20, Criteo, BlaBlaCar. All these names are names of successful startups, all created in Europe. And if you don't know all of them, I'm happy to show it to you, because it's really a nice adventure we are actually living right now in Europe. You may not know that, but there is actually a growing and emerging generation of startups that are building up in many pockets across the continent. There was a nice study very recently done by Telefonica actually showing that in Europe the density of accelerators and co-working space is actually greater than in the US. So we are not seeing all the benefits from this, but there is a new trend coming up. And as regards the European Commission, we are trying right now to build on this. We have a series of initiatives to make sure that we seize the opportunities from this new generation of companies, and also that we seize the potential for IT to actually transform our societies. Because ultimately, the challenge is nothing else but to reinvent our industries. Very often people think that ICT is only a sector. Actually, these days, more than 80% of all jobs will require ICT skills. More than 80% of industry will need to have ICT specialization in order to continue and face disruptive change from new platforms. So we are living through these changing times, and what somehow is nice from the crisis is that the new generation has nothing to lose. There is high unemployment and not a prospect to find a stable career anymore in large corporation. So in fact, and I was glad that you mentioned what your parents suggested to you. I think not many people probably would have advised people to go into programming some years ago. I think today, parents are actually advising their kids to go and start being entrepreneurs, because they have been themselves experiencing also the dissatisfaction from failing to have long-time careers, because corporations actually are also doing a layoff sometimes without warning you. So to some extent, this new generation, I think, is seizing opportunities, and they're also waiting for a signal. And that's why today I would like to also make a call for action. As Neelie Kroes said several times, we have to meet the expectations of this new generation. And she did something very interesting a few months ago. She gathered actually leading successful entrepreneurs. Back in March, I think it was on Spring Day, actually, she had this group of 9 successful entrepreneurs. Many were actually also building companies from the in Europe, from the US passport. And she called this the Leaders Club. We were talking here about the founders of Skype, of Rovio, of Spotify, Seedcamp, what have you. And these people actually committed to come up with proposals. And they did it, which is nice, because it's not always that you see successful entrepreneurs wanting to give back to the community, trying to be an example for the others. And what they produced was this manifesto, and I believe you have actually a copy with you. It's an interesting document because it's not a solution for IT. It's actually a solution for Europe to become a place for being an entrepreneur and trying to rock the boat, so to say. So they have 22 proposals, Interestingly, we did not suggest them what to write. We really left this to their own initiative and to the suggestion they found also from their own communities. So back in June, they tested the proposals with the Founders Forum, a group of 1,000 successful entrepreneurs. And now we are here, they are gathering signatures to support this manifesto. So I would really invite you to join these developments and to try and make sure that we have further support for this event. But I would like also to underline what we are doing from the Commission side to support this movement. So we launched a series of initiatives. One of them is called Startup Europe. And in this Startup Europe, we have actually 6 actions to try and promote the development of this new area. And one of them is the Leaders Club, indeed. We are also trying to develop partnership with private partners so that they also contribute to the ecosystem. We are developing an accelerators assembly to make sure that the pockets of hope that I was signaling are actually scaling up and reaching out to one another, so that you don't have only London or Berlin or Paris, but a series of successful ventures joining up. We also are supporting crowdfunding, venture capital, and talent, because at the end of the day, and I think I would very much agree with what was said earlier, we need to also develop the skills and the programming capacity in Europe if we want to be successful. In addition, we also have several programs for research, notably one on the future internet, PPP, and it goes together with 100 million euros to actually create the structures around the ecosystem and promoting these new programs and goals at large. Just to finish, a last point, and it's a kind of an announcement because it's something we just finalized from the Commission. We now have a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs. And I think it's a very nice result, because it's not only the way to aggregate what DG Connect is doing, but it's the whole Commission support measures for entrepreneurs. It is about money, it is about technology, it is about skills and jobs, and it is about networking. So we have in one place all the ingredients to support the entrepreneurs, and I hope that this will be used so that we have even more success, not only from the Commission, from Europe, but from all over Europe. So just to finish, I would just join the words of Neelie Kroes when she received the manifesto. Let's start up Europe, let's shake up Europe, and let's connect Europe. Because to some extent, IT is there to transform our connected continent, and I hope that we can all together tonight bring this message home and have a very nice evening full of hope. Thank you.